businesses located throughout the valley. Networking, it makes a difference.
If I traded it all.
Welcome to the show, everyone, and we are live today on Facebook, so I'm happy to be able to say that because yesterday I couldn't say what I'm going to say next, which is if you are right now on Facebook, you can go up there and put in Networking Arizona, all spelled out, and watch us in here doing this show right now live through Facebook. It's really fun to do. Now, if you're driving, please don't do that. I've got somebody that's going to say that right now. That is my first guest. I have with me Maria Wojcik, and she's the owner of Driving MBA. Welcome back to the show. You've been on a couple times before. I think it's funny that I had to say that. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me. Excuse me. I always do this when I get started. But so my name is Maria Wojcik, and I am the owner of Driving MBA. We've been Driving MBA is a driver training company that is pretty unique in the way in which we approach driver training. And we started the business. My husband and I started the business almost 18 years ago now. And we have a location in Scottsdale, and then we just opened a location in Glendale as well.
And you're really excited because today you wanted to come on to talk about your grand opening there. So, and tell them what's going on there, what day it's going to be, and what you're going to do.
Yeah, we have a grand opening for our Glendale location, which is located at 59th Avenue and Union Hills. It's going to be on October 23rd from 1 to 4. We're going to have a ribbon cutting at 1:30, and we're also dedicating that office to Jennifer Hines, who was killed by a red light runner back in 1997. She went to Ironwood High School, which was in Glendale, So we want to honor her.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable that you're doing that. That just gave me goosebumps.
I've become very good friends with her mom and dad. Her dad was he was the founder of the Red Means Stop coalition back in 1998 with two other dads. And so we really just want to be able to keep Jennifer's memory alive and continue to put good drivers out there in her memory.
And we always have new drivers on the road. Somebody's going to turn 16. That's how old you're going to be when you get you have to start a little earlier, right?
Right.
Well, everybody has to learn how to drive. I want to talk about a reputable school. We obviously have other schools, but
right.
You've been around for 18 years, and I want to talk about what that really means when you go to, you just can't go to the yellow pages sometimes and just pick something out. I think it's better to go with something that is reputable and you've been around, like I said, for 18 years. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so what sets us apart from other schools? It's funny you should mention the yellow pages, because when I first got into the business, that was the game everybody was playing. They were all trying to name themselves with the A so they could be first in line.
Pretty funny.
So we're unique because we have a very comprehensive approach. We use driving simulation labs as well as on-road instruction, and we also do some online classes as well. But we don't approach this as a class to just be done in a week or two. We really approach it as a process, and we follow the behavior of the student. And so we're following what they need in order to be ready for a license versus being eligible for a license, which is real different.
Now, you have two locations.
Right.
One is in Scottsdale. The other one is in Glendale. Glendale on October 23rd, they're going to have their grand opening there from 1 to 4 p.m. And it's really cool to go. I went to see you. It was a long time ago. It was when I even signed you up for the chamber. I think it was a long time ago. And I went to your facility. It must have been the one in Scottsdale. I can't remember where it was, but that I actually got to see how you did the simulations and things like that. So not everybody does it all the same.
No, nobody does what we do. Actually, nobody in the state, nobody in the country uses the simulation technology that we use. We have two different simulators that we use in our training. So we're unique in the country, quite frankly.
That's amazing. I mean, that's awesome. And boy, do you want that. Let me tell you something. Everybody needs to go to driving training. I don't care how old you are. When I get on the road right now, I'm white knuckling it on my way home. And I'm telling you, people drive. I don't know why it is.
I don't.
Maniacs.
I have my theories.
But, honestly, people really need to figure out how to drive correctly and watch the speed limits, that's for sure. I want to talk a little bit also about adults, not just children. You know,
Okay.
because also there's people that come in from other parts of the world, right? They
Right.
drive differently.
Yeah. So for adults, they're actually more difficult to teach than kids
Of
are.
course.
You know, so we start an adult in the simulation lab just to see, you know, kind of what their learning style is and determine what's the best plan of action for them. So they would go through the same process that typically a novice young person would go through. It probably would be one-on-one with an instructor in our fundamentals lab, just because they need more attention. But it's, you know, in the simulation lab. So we have a driving fundamentals simulation lab, and then once they complete that, then we start them on the road, and we continue to work with them until they're ready to be out there.
Do they take a little bit longer time too? Or
Yes,
does it-
unfortunately, they think they want to get it done in a week, and so if they're brand new, never been behind the wheel of a car, it's going to take what it's going to take. It's what we tell people, no matter if you're an adult or a teenager. You know, with the 6 months, the state of Arizona says that a young person needs to hold a permit. It really doesn't mean a whole lot.
Do you have other classes for people like truck drivers and things like that need to redo things or whatever kind of stuff like that?
Well, not for truck. Well, we do have we have adult programs. We have programs for corporate where if you've got employees that are driving out there and they're, you know, maybe young.
Amazon, listen up.
So we do programs for companies, and so it's really to help sharpen their defensive driving skills, help them you know, maybe see some of the bad habits that they've developed and make them more aware of those, and help them become better drivers out there. It's a perishable skill. Everybody could use a little boost.
The website is drivingmba.com. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. And, you know, when you come in and you work with them, what is the process like? Do you have an assessment with them, or do they just sign up and it's like a cattle call?
No, it's not. We have an enrollment counselor that talks to whoever's calling about the program. We have a pretty significant enrollment process. They have a lot of questions to answer, and just so we know what we're working with every time a student comes in. So if they've got little to no driving experience, we'll start them in our driving fundamentals simulation lab. So they're learning how to drive. They're learning everything from hand and foot control, steering control, to getting on and off the roadways, making their turns, getting on the freeway. So they're learning how to drive and applying the rules of the road. So they're also learning how to use the rules of the road while they're in a safe, controlled environment. So they start there.
Again, that website is drivingmba.com. They are the only ones in the country that does this simulation technique of how you teach people how to drive.
Right.
And that is really cool. And I have to tell you, not only is it cool for the student to do, it is wonderful that you do that, but it's great that you do it as a process. It's a step.
Right.
Because of course they have to get out there, but it's certainly as close to realistic, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's as close as you're going to get. And then it's not like we don't take them on the road once they complete that, but they've already got a skill base that then we can start to transfer to the real road. And so think about also, if you start a student out on the real road, that instructor's attention has to be split between keeping them alive and teaching them. In the simulation lab, they can crash. They can learn from that mistake.
Now, when people come to you, I know you have the 2 locations, but we have such a wide area, Phoenix.
Right.
Because you're the only one that does this, anyone can come to you.
Oh, absolutely. Right.
Yeah. I mean, and it's important. I'd like to get that information out there as you're thinking about this. You want to go to a reputable school. This is one that is the only one in the country that has these simulation techniques how they teach them. Not only just that, of course, they go out on the road as well. You could check them out on their website. It's drivingmba.com. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they're really excited because they're having their grand opening at their Glendale location on October 23rd. It's from 1 to 4 p.m. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit further about some of the different things that you do. Again, that is drivingmba.com.
When someone close to you passes, the grief can feel overwhelming. So when it comes time to make the necessary preparations for your loved one, you can rely on Angel Cremation and Burial in Mesa. Our caring and professional staff knows you're going through a lot, so we focus on helping you understand your options. You only pay for what you truly need. To learn more about our many cremation and funeral services, call 480-962-6435. 480-962-6435. angelscremationandburial.com.
Knowing every client is different, Anna von Strassenberg, CPA, PLLC, prides herself by offering ethical, accurate, and professional guidance when it comes to accounting, tax, and consulting services like tax return preparation, tax projections, proactive tax planning, IRS representation, QuickBooks, Pro Advisors, and more. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, call 480-964-4030. That's 480-964-4030. Services available year-round. ArizonaCPAs.com.
Hey, this is Howie.
And me, Javi. Bravo Insurance Agency offers financial and lifestyle protection for those you love from an agency you can trust.
Gain the financial lifestyle security you deserve.
Proudly serving individuals, families, veterans, and America's small business community since 1985.
For a free, no-obligation consultation, call us at 480-316-7862. That's 480-316-7862.
Like us on Facebook.
Tired of paying high hourly fees when you need a plumber? With Cobra Plumbing, you get the same great service as the other guys, but you pay by the job, not the hour. So if you have a residential plumbing issue, don't wait. Call Cobra Plumbing today. Plus, our work is guaranteed. So call us today for your free estimate. Call 602-663-8432. That's 602-663-8432. To see a list of our complete service offerings, go to cobraplumbing.net.
If you own rental properties anywhere in the Valley, Denali Real Estate can provide you with the best overall value, guaranteed. Denali Real Estate Property Management offers 6% management fee, no startup fees, no long-term contracts, and a money-back guarantee. Mention KFNX and we'll fill your first vacant property for free. Please call 480-626-4062. That's 480-626-4062, or visit our website, DenaliArizona.com.
Do you want to feel better about yourself and have more confidence? Are you tired of trying to lose those extra pounds that don't seem to come off whatever you do? Cryoslimming reduces fat from the stomach, legs, back, arms, and sides by naturally passing fat debris from the body. Cryoslimming is the ideal choice for anyone looking to lose inches or deal with that stubborn fat that won't go away, even with diet and exercise. For a complimentary consultation, call 480-839-0170. EnchantmentCryoCool.com.
If I traded it all.
We're back, and we're talking with Maria Wojcik, and she's the owner of Driving MBA. And at the break, we've been sort of talking to Facebook land a little bit about some of your favorite things about what you do. And the one thing that you said was the testimonials.
Right. We've had, parents call and tell us crazy situations that their kids have been in, and that, what they learned saved them. One time I had a mom call and crying and saying that her son was going to be at Thanksgiving dinner because of something we taught him. So, it's those kinds of things that have kept us going.
Sure, and that is what you're doing. You're saving people's lives by teaching them how to drive better, right? And it's not just kids. Don't forget, you do also work with adults as well. We're going to talk about some of the different classes. They've got two locations. One is in Scottsdale. The other one is in Glendale. You can call them. Their phone number is 480-948-1648. Listen up. The holidays are around the corner, right? And I know this is sound like a crazy thing, but what about, I guarantee you, if you're going to you can't wait to get your license as a kid. You give them the gift of driving, the gift of freedom maybe to somebody, this is a reputable driving school that has been around for 18 years. They are the only ones in the country that uses their simulators as one of the things that they teach. Obviously, they go out with the road, but the only ones that do the simulators. I've seen it, and it is super, super cool. The website is drivingmba.com. They've got their grand opening that is happening in their Glendale location October 23rd, and it's from 1 to 4 p.m., and it's really cool. Qualifications, what are they?
For instructors, we vet them very, very closely, and we're looking for individuals who are either teachers or have a propensity for teaching, have a lot of empathy, they've got their good communication skills, and they go through a rigorous training process.
So not only do you have them like that, the water's right there.
Right,
if you also, you might want to, if you're somebody who is a teacher. Teachers need to make a little extra money, unfortunately.
Yes.
That's the way it is around here, especially here. And, They need to
Yeah,
what a great
we're
thing to
looking
do.
for people. So if that's something that sounds interesting or you'd like to do, please call us.
Yeah, and here's the thing about the show. It's not just who you're talking to, but who you know. So maybe you know somebody that you might want to tell them about this, and they can, maybe they want to take classes or whatever, but also maybe they want to teach.
Yeah, and I just want to mention, Carol, that grandparents, if you're getting ready to buy your grandkids something for Christmas, this is a great opportunity for you to get them
I think so too. What a wonderful gift. And something, most of us as grandparents are sick and tired of spending money on stuff that, you're just going to play with, right? Or what's going to happen with this is something that's useful. So you can check them out on their website, and it is drivingmba.com. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. And again, they are reputable, 18 years in the business. I want to talk also a little bit about some of your other defensive driving classes.
Yeah, the defensive driving is another simulation lab that we use. Excuse me.
See, it doesn't always happen to me.
No,
it
it happens
my
to me
guests, too.
all the time. I apologize. So we have another it's a defensive driving lab, and in there we're teaching not only young people but also seasoned drivers things like head-on collision avoidance, skid control. What do you do if you hit wet pavement? If you start to hydroplane, different weather conditions. We can change weather conditions. We can blow their tire out at 65 miles an hour.
They're
Those are
the only
things we
ones in
can
the
do.
country that can do that right
Yeah.
there while you're sitting
That's
there.
right.
And so you're going to really learn how to drive it correctly, also defensively,
Yep.
and God forbid anything that comes up, they're here that you will have gone through something like that and you'll know what to do.
Yep.
Again, that phone number to call them, it's 480-948-1648. Check them out on the website. You can see all their information there. It's drivingmba.com. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the. You also do classes for challenged people.
Yes, for students that have learning challenges, ADD or ADHD, parents should not underestimate what it takes to put those kids out on the road, or even an adult. Students on the spectrum. So it's those kinds of challenges. We can start them. We start with them with an assessment, determine what they're going to need in order to. And so for those students, it's a slower process for them. So we can determine if it's a good time for them to start to learn to drive, or if they need to do other things in their life in order before they get there. And then we take a slow process. We do simulation labs. We do on road. And we're just continuing to reinforce what they're learning so that they get to the point where they're going to be good solo drivers out there.
So I was mentioning how I think everybody here is such terrible drivers. And I was wondering if people can just want to maybe snuff up, because I cannot tell you how many people I know that are my age, the older age group, that are literally afraid to drive on the streets sometimes because the drivers. Can they come in and get in there? And there's another class for you.
Oh yeah,
you
no,
right
we
now.
do. We do. We have boost programs that specialize like in
How to drive on the 51.
Intersections, freeways, speed control, those kinds of things. We also have a senior assessment that we do for people that might need to be thinking about getting off of the road. So we're assessing them. We can put them in. We can determine visual acuity, their cognition, how well they react to situation. We can put them in a situation and see how they react. I can't do that on the road with them, and
but it's awesome that you offer that. Again, you're having your grand opening. That is going to be at the one in Glendale, and that is going to happen on October 23rd, 1 to 4 p.m. I know you're having the ribbon cutting. What else are you going to do there?
We're going to have other businesses as well, and that are safety focused, and so there'll be food and things to do. We're going to have our mobile unit. We have a mobile unit that'll be there so people can get on the simulator.
Okay, what's that?
That's got our defensive driving simulator in it, and so we take that to events. We can also bring it to companies if they want to do their training on site, so we can use the mobile so that they don't have to come to us, that we can bring it to them.
But if you're looking for something reputable, something that you can count on, whether it's for you, your grandchild, your daughter, your son, whoever, they have been around for 18 years. I think that you like the simulation that you do, obviously, because it might be a little bit more steps that people take.
Absolutely.
Maybe
Absolutely.
How long does it take in general?
It really depends on the student. So the driving fundamentals is 8 hours done in 4 2-hour lessons. On road, you can buy as many on-road lessons as you want. Typically, it's 10 hours, which is about 5, or sometimes people will buy 30 hours. Defensive driving is 6 hours, done in 3 2-hour labs. There's some classes, and also I do want to mention that we engage the parents for novice drivers.
I want to talk about that because you said that was something that you wanted to talk about in terms of the parents and what you do because they're involved on this.
Oh, absolutely. You can't just drop them off. We're not an easy bake oven that just pops out a good driver. It doesn't work that way. So I do a parent class. I do a coaching class with parents. I do 2 Zooms with them, talking them through other things that they should know. We have an online course with one of our instructors that's literally coaching a student through a drive, so that they can see how to coach their student because they've got to practice.
Yeah, because you know what it's like. You're scared. Right? Yeah, when I get in my daughter's car, I'm still on.
They got to practice what they're learning. It can't just be go to school and you're going to get a license. They've got to put the time in.
But you've got to help them, and that's the hardest part. That's why it's easier to go to class. And let me say this: I know a lot of people. Some people don't. They don't. They should make every single person go to a driving training. But they don't all do it, and they really should. And part of the people out there that are driving like maniacs probably didn't go. But you really, honestly, should do this because number one, it gives a parent more peace of mind.
Yep.
Absolutely. It'll help you when you're going to get in that car with them because you're now going to know how to handle that because that was the hardest part for me.
Yep.
And of course my daughter went right through a house the first time she was driving a car, and I thank God I wasn't in that car. It was my ex, so he that one is on him. But honestly, it's not an easy thing to do.
No,
and
it's
you
not.
need to have. What are your final words for everybody?
Don't underestimate what it takes to put a competent driver out there. It's easy to give them just enough to pass a test to make them dangerous out there. But to get them to be competent, safe, responsible young drivers, get involved, be part of the process because the consequences can be horrific.
And again, you might also be somebody who's just moved here from another state, another country. They do drive differently in other places.
Absolutely.
But what is the oldest driver you've ever had?
We had a little, I think she was almost in her 90s. She came in for an assessment.
That's me. I'm coming in for the assessment.
She was so cute, though, and she, you know what? She was good. She was one of our seniors that came in that we couldn't say, no, you should get off the road.
I think that's awesome. So again, we want to talk about those people that also might want to take classes. I think the biggest part about you is that you are the only one in the country that really does these simulating classes. Also, they do all sorts of other things that you can check out on their website. It's drivingmba.com. I would say that this would be the best stocking stuffer that you could ever give to somebody, honestly, that's learning. Maybe they're here. Maybe they need to snuff it up. You've got a business. Maybe your drivers need to learn to know what to do in case things happen or whatever it is. That they're here to help. They've been around here for 18 years, and I've known her for a while now. They've got 2 locations. One is in Scottsdale. The other one is in Glendale. And in Glendale, October 23rd, they're having their grand opening from 1 to 4 p.m. Check them out. It's drivingmba.com.
Wow, everybody wants greater health, wealth, and happiness. We at Hypnotic